Hello there. My name is Omalaya Awojobi. Welcome to the fireplace. Today I'm going to be sharing with you on what I have titled How to Connect the One to Marry. This is going to be awesome. How to connect the one to marry. In my counseling experience, I have encountered people who have difficulties identifying persons to connect with for marriage. You will be surprised that as many people as there are in the world today, of course, there are people who find it difficult to connect to someone to marry them. There are three principal reasons why this can be. There are persons in three categories like this who have it difficult to connect with someone who can take them into their dream place in a relationship. First of all, there are people who say nobody finds them attractive. Nobody finds them interesting. If you're in that category, or the persons in that category, they will never be able to connect with somebody who they can date and then eventually get into a marriage relationship with. Next, there are people who are consistently in relationships, but they're consistently having differences with the people who they're in a relationship with. For these folks, it's going to be difficult connecting with a person to date and then get into a marriage relationship. And then the last category of persons are those who are often in a circle of negative relationships. It doesn't matter what they do, they are just always in a circle. Every relationship never works. So if you are this kind of person, there are a number of things that you need to learn, a number of things that you need to understand with regards to connecting a person that you can get into a relationship with and then you can get married to. So very quickly, I want us to look together at two principal things that you need to do to be able to begin to connect the right people who you can then get into a relationship with, and then who you can talk about courting and then getting married, too. So let's look at these two critical positions that you must take to be able to connect with the appropriate person. Number one, become valuable. Become valuable. Become valuable. If you are not connecting with the right person, I'd like to ask you, are you really valuable? So what that means is this: you've got to first become the right person to be able to attract the right person. Let me help you understand something. We live in a world today where nobody wants a liability. Everybody wants a plus. Whether it's a man or a woman, each of us is looking for a person who will come into our lives and be an addition. No one is looking for a liability. No one is looking for one who they will invest into and not get any dividends or results. So let me ask you, are you valuable? If you say yes, then my question will be, how are you valuable? So let me ask you a couple of vital questions concerning being valuable. Number one, who are you right now? How much investments have you made in your life, in your mental processes? How do you think? Do you think strategically? Do you think creatively? Do you think in a way that multiplies resources? Or do you think in ways that deplete resources? How valuable are you? How valuable are you? And so the first thing is this, and then how can you make yourself valuable if you think you're not valuable? Number one, you've got to the quality of value in you as a person begins from what is in your mental processes. And that can change through association, it can change through learning, it can change through conversations that you have with meaningful people. First, you've got to become valuable. You can take a course. You can enroll a coach. someone who can position you to think appropriately. Whatever you do, you've got to become a valuable person. You've got to become a valuable person. You've got to become a valuable person. Number 2, second thing that you need to do, you need to determine your compatibility clarity. Let me say that again. For you to connect the right persons, right, or connect the right person with whom you can get into a relationship that can lead to your desire, you have to determine what compatibility means to you. First of all, I like to talk about compatibility in regards to your 20%. What does this mean? Pareto principle tells us that it is 20% of the things that you do that will give you 80% of the results that you desire. Pareto is actually operational in love, relationship, and marriage as well. So let me tell you what it is. Eventually, we have found out in marriage that it is 20% of what will give you 80% of the success you want that you actually need to look out for in a spouse. Let me explain that a bit more. The person you are going to spend the rest of your life with eventually cannot give you 100% of what you're looking for. Rather, what will happen is this. This person has certain characters, certain traits that are essential to produce 80% of what you want in a partner. You need to be able to determine early enough what that 20% is, so that when you find this person, you are able to engage with them in a way that this 20% that they have and invest into your life gives you the 80% results that you want from a dating relationship and a marriage relationship. This is essential. If you're going to connect the right person that you need to get married to, you need to determine what the 20% is for you. Now, for me, because I knew way before I got married that I'm going to be a minister, I'm going to be a leader in a church, a pastor, because I knew I had to marry somebody who would be comfortable with my calling. And for that reason, it was priority for me. One of my 20% was that I would have a lady who can support me in that space. I don't have the time to go into all of those details. And the 20% has guided me to begin to enjoy the 80% I wanted in my union. So let me ask you, what would the 20% be? If you could only get 20% of what you wanted from a relationship with a man or a woman, what would that 20% be? Let me go ask you, do you know clearly what you want from a person who you intend to date or get married to? That clarity is essential. You also need to be clear on what values you esteem. So what are your values? When your values become clear to you, it's easy to identify a person to connect with. And let me tell you how. It's a beginning round off. How does the 20% principle and clarifying your value help you in regards to identifying and connecting with someone? Number one, when you are clear on your 20%, when you find someone, you go into a place, you go into an eatery, you get into a conversation, you get on a plane, you get in the bus, wherever it is you get to, somebody begins to talk and say certain things that suddenly begin to resonate with you, and you are able to say, this person is talking as if they have the 20% that I'm looking for. When your values are clarified, you are able to say, this person shares my value. Oh wow. The thing with value is this. It's like music. When you hear someone singing music you like, you identify that this person loves my kind of music. So when you are clear on your values, it is easy to identify persons who possess your kind of value. So number one, you clarify what your 20% is. Number two, you clarify what your values are. When you have these two sets of things clear, you get into any space. You may not even be looking for someone to connect with in that space. But because you have these things clear, you get into a space and it's easy to identify that this person has your 20%, this person has your values, because you have taken the time to clarify what they really are to you. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope you have clarified your 20%. If you have not, it's not too late to do so. I hope you know what your values are. What matters to you? What matters to you? In my case, for instance, it was important to me that we did not have sex before marriage. That was an important value for me. And so, and let me tell you why it was important for me. I know that in today's age and time, it has become difficult to find people who esteem marriage. It has become difficult to find people who can engage in a relationship with a person, not for sex, not for selfish reasons, but can love them for who they are. And so I knew that when my children grow up, it will become such a difficult thing for them to find such models. So I wanted to be able to say to my children, I did not have sex with your mom until I got married to her. I wanted to be able to say that to them. So I knew that the moment I slept with whoever I was dating, I wasn't going to be able to say that to my children. So it was essential for me that whoever I would date or whoever I would connect with must share the same values with me. And so these things helped me be able to connect when I entered into that space where the woman I'm now married to was present. These are essentials. So don't forget. Number one, clarify your 20%. Number two, clarify your values. When you have clarified these things, you'll be able to enter into spaces and identify persons who share them, and you can begin to have conversations that cause connection. I hope this impacted you as it did me. If you have been impacted, I'd like you to reach out to me. Go to the comment section, put a comment there, go to the chat section, send me a message. I'd like to hear from you. You can follow me on Instagram. My handle is @LiarPrime. I look forward to hear about how this impacted you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful time.